Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna go through my horror movie icks. I've seen a lot of horror YouTubers talking about their horror movie icks, and I wanted to share some of mine. These might be a little bit controversial, so be prepared, but let's get right into this. My first one is in a lot of possession paranormal movies, and that is when a demon or some entity lunges at the protagonist and then it cuts away to screaming or a different scene, and I'm like, girl, in reality, what did the demon do? It lunged at you and then it just stayed there? Like, it just stood there because it didn't harm you. So I'm confused because it obviously didn't disappear, since all of these movies has like the parents like running in and they're like and then the person who got attacked is like holding it, or not attacked, lunged at, is holding a cross in front of them. As if that's... I don't get it. I want to see a horror movie actually go through with what happens afterwards. Because I do think it would make sense if the demon lunged, then you quickly grabbed a cross, and then somehow that like propelled them outwards. I don't know. I feel like they just want a cheap scare without thinking of the logistics. My second horror movie ick is when a character walks into a dangerous situation, or a situation where somebody is hurt, or a situation where somebody clearly looks dead or something, and they don't call 911. Like, I get that sometimes in these paranormal movies or supernatural movies, the police would not believe you. I don't think they ever would, but still your instinct would be, especially if somebody's dead or like dying, wouldn't you call 911? What are you doing? Why are you taking this into your own hands? You're not a paramedic and you don't have any experience in healing wounds. So my third horror movie ick is when they leave the perfect hiding spot. I don't know if you guys have watched The Strangers Chapter 1, but this is in The Strangers Chapter 1. I mean, the characters are just so stupid, but why are you leaving a perfectly good hiding spot? Their motive is always like, oh, I gotta look to see if they're still here. And I'm like, girl, I would grab a pillow and I would sleep, because I am not getting out there until the sun is up and I know it's safe. Okay, the fourth one, I am going to spoil a little bit of the movies Ready or Not or Smile, so skip to this timestamp if you haven't seen those movies. I do recommend those movies for if you haven't seen them, but oh my god, you guys might not agree with me on this, but I hate endings that are for shock value, that contradict the themes of the movie. In Ready or Not, we're supposed to believe these rich people are crazy, like, they don't have a grasp on reality because they're so, like, disgustingly rich. And then, everything they were talking about happened. The rich people were right. And I'm like, oh my god. I hate that the main protagonist doesn't really kill anybody herself. Like, they all just explode at midnight or whatever the time is. So she didn't have to do anything, but she gets to be called a final girl. I feel like that title should be reserved for people that did stuff, but that's just me. Yeah, that's also in Smile, if you've seen that. At number 5, this one is really controversial because I know a lot of your favorite movies are gonna have this, but I hate when all of the horror happens in the dark, especially if they just skip day, pretty much. Like, 2 seconds happens during the day, and then we're back at night, where all the scary stuff is going on. Why don't we have any scares in the day? Because it would be more scary if the threat was always there, no matter the time frame. Paranormal Activity is the worst with this because they don't even show anything that happens in the day. Like, they pretty much just brush over it and they're like, oh, we're now into night 6, where all the scary stuff happens, where our cute little security camera is showing all the scary stuff. So you guys could have figured out a lot of stuff during the day and you just chose not to. That's what I'm getting from that. My next one is... this is not a horror movie ick, but it definitely is icky, and that's the movie Splice. I don't know if you guys have watched that. I don't recommend it at all. I'm gonna spoil it right now, so if you have the deep urge to watch this terrible movie, then skip to this timestamp, I guess. That movie... if you want to see a compilation of all of my horror movie icks, just watch that movie, because... oh my god. Because in that movie, the alien creature is mixed with her DNA, which means that that's her child, basically. And then stuff happens, and suddenly she's having a baby with that creature who is basically her child. And then she keeps the baby Like, that is so wild to me. I cannot defend that. Not to mention that the protagonists both suck. Like, that guy did the weirdest thing ever. Oh my god. If you guys watch that movie, you'll know what I'm saying. But he then goes and he's like to the wife, he's like, well, you're not perfect either. You just wanted a child alien baby to control it. That is not nearly as bad as what you've done, sir. But suddenly, she's like, you're right. You're right. I'm not a perfect person either. And I'm like, you both suck? Let the movie end. My next horror movie ick is one we can all agree on, and that's fake out jump scares. Because why do you need to increase my heart rate for a second just to not do anything afterwards? It's fine. I think fake outs are fine if it leads to a better scare. Like in Smile, I'm thinking of when she's like listening to the voice message or whatever, and then the phone rings behind her, and that's like, oh, that's scary. And then like they continue the scariness because then like the phone's all creepy and same voices and whatever. Yeah, if they can keep up the tension, that's fine. But if it's just like, oh, we just did that because we have nothing scary to show you for the next 30 minutes, I'm like, mad, I'm angry. Like, why'd you do that? Especially if it's a bird. The next one is opening kills, but especially if they have nothing to do with the plot. Like, in Evil Dead Rise, they have an opening kill, and it's supposed to be like this full circle, like, oh, it happened afterwards. But still, these characters are not relevant to the main characters, so why are we doing this? Why would I care about them dying? It kind of feels cheap to me, and I'm like, you can make it relevant to the plot if you're gonna do an opening kill. I think it's fine if it's like, oh, Granny and Grampy died at the beginning, and now we're trying to get over the trauma while we're having the same situation happen to us. That's fine because it's like that had an effect on them. But if it doesn't have anything to do with the main characters, then like I could do without. But I will say the one thing that is good about opening kills is when they just use that footage in the trailer, and then so you don't get spoiled anything, really. Okay, my 9th horror movie ick is when trailers reveal way too much about the plot, especially when they have second trailers. Like, why are you adding another trailer just to spoil a bunch of stuff? It'll never make sense to me, and I think there's so many effective ways to show how the movie's gonna be without revealing everything that happens in the movie. Because then I'm like, what am I gonna gain from watching this movie? I know what happens. And I know what all the big set pieces are. If you've seen the A Quiet Place Day 1 trailers, you'll see they spoil so many set pieces. Why are we doing this? Just no second trailers and no spoiling the whole movie. Okay, my 10th one is along the same lines, but this one I think I hate more, and that's misleading trailers. Why are you showcasing this trailer as if there's gonna be scariness in the movie, and then the movie's not even a horror movie? That's literally what The Village is. Like, that's a drama. And then this is also, like, in The Black Phone, the trailer shows it to be, like, scary, jump scary, and then the movie just isn't. It's like, a mystery. Not really a horror movie, and yeah, it irks me a lot. It happens in Halloween Ends too, and I like that movie, but the trailer made it seem like it was gonna be something completely different than what the movie was. My second to last one is something that might be a little controversial. I don't know if you guys are gonna agree with me on this, but I absolutely hate ambiguous endings. Because people are like, oh, it's supposed to be up to your own interpretation. I think what I gain from the movie, my interpretation of the themes and my takeaways, those should be my own interpretation, but not what actually happened. Especially when it's just like, oh, will there be a sequel? Like, that's It Follows. It literally is just trying to tease a second movie while not actually showing us what happens. But yeah, this is in a lot of movies. It's in The Thing, The Shining, etc., etc. My last horror movie ick is in slashers when the reveal is somebody who is pretty irrelevant to the plot. If they were only there for like 2 minutes at the start of the movie, why is it this huge reveal like, oh my god, I did not know it was gonna be you all along. Like, yeah, I didn't know because I didn't even know you were a part of this movie. Especially me, I have such a bad memory. I'm not gonna remember one minor character that was there for 2 minutes in a whole ensemble cast. I think it's absurd. They should just not do a reveal at that point if they're gonna make it such a nobody at the end. But that's just my opinion. It's especially in the Scream franchise, but it's basically in so many whodunits where it's like some irrelevant character that ends up being the main villain. Let me know your guys' horror movie icks, and if you want a part 2 to this, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, like the video, and that's all for now. Bye!